Hello everybody, welcome back to more political chatter. This 2024 election prediction is between Joe Biden, the incumbent president of the United States, versus Donald Trump. Now, as of right now, the Biden versus Trump matchup is most likely to happen. According to polls, Biden, because he is the incumbent president, solely because he is the incumbent president, he leads among potential Democrats like Sherrod Brown, AOC, if you will, Kirsten Sinema, whoever it may be. Biden leads by wide margins. Trump, on the other hand, he is leading the Republican Party like crazy. I mean, some Republicans, mostly in the South, want Ron DeSantis as a nominee, but Ron DeSantis would never run against Trump. They're buddies. They share the same politics. Ron DeSantis is a Trumpian Republican. So both these people would be running for a second term. Now, I will point out that I do believe that that in a Biden versus Trump matchup, that there will be a third-party candidate, a strong third-party candidate, I should say, one that will slowly emerge. And because so many people are fearing that the 2024 matchup is Biden versus Trump, but this is not with a potential third-party candidate such as Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang. None of those people. Instead, it would just be Biden versus Trump. So let's get into it. I think that California and Washington would stay safe. Hawaii would stay safe. Illinois, D.C., Maryland, because it is its own state, will give them Delaware by a safe margin. New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Vermont. And that's it. But I forgot to point out, Joe Biden, he's underwater. He's the president right now, and there's massive inflation. Gas prices are up, grocery prices are up, and his approval rating is at, hovering around 41% and 43%. So that means about 80% of only about 80% of Democrats approve of him, and that will be concerning. Donald Trump, on the other hand, he was able to win in 2016, and he still holds on to these very radical policies, and he almost won in 2020. So he really will capture his base once again, because he did in 2020. In 2024, Republicans will want to turn out for Donald Trump because they are really, really, really angry about Joe Biden being the president. So it will be a red wave year. All right, just in short, it will be a red wave year, especially 2022 midterms. So all the states that I've just listed would be safe, I believe, for Donald Trump. I believe that these would be it. Now let's go into some likely states. I think that Oregon, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Maine's 1st district would all be likely. Hillary Clinton won all these states likely in 2016, so I do think that this will be much more similar to 2016 than in 2020 in terms of red wave or blue wave. So I do think that these would once again be likely. Moving on to likely Trump states: Alaska, Texas, South Carolina, Iowa, Ohio, Maine 2nd. That's gonna be it. And I think that Florida will shift more than 2 points to the right. Went to Trump by 3.5%. I do think that it will shift more than 2 points. Because remember, 2020 was a blue wave year, and 2018 was as well. And in 2018, Ron DeSantis was able to win the governor's election, and Rick Scott was able to win the Senate elections. Two statewide Republicans were able to win. And in 2020, Trump only increased his win here. He won in 2016 by about 1.5%, I just say. And then 2020, he wins it. It shifts to the right about 2 points, which is absolutely insane. Saying that states like Minnesota and New Hampshire shifted 9 points, right? So this really was a shocking win. I think that it is shifting Republican enough for Donald Trump to win here by a likely margin. Moving on to New Mexico and Colorado. These states, I think that, Colorado really shifted. It was kind of close in 2016. It went to Hillary Clinton by a lead margin. But then go to 2020, and it really shifted blue. It really shifted to the left and went to Biden by, I believe, 13 points, which is insane. But I do think that there's a Democratic base here, and the fact of the matter is a lot of Democrats, especially in a progressive state like Colorado, a lot of progressive Democrats will stay home for Joe Biden. They're not voting for Trump, but they will stay home for Biden, while that Republican base, that Trumpian base, will turn out for him. So I do think that Colorado would be lean. But New Mexico, which has more of a Democratic base that will will turn out for Biden that aren't willing to go to another candidate. I do think that would be likely. And then moving on to Nebraska's 2nd district, this would probably be a lean win for Donald Trump, 1 electoral vote. But in Arizona and Nevada, I think that Arizona will be a tough state for Trump to win, whether it be 2020, 2024, 2028, 2032, whatever the year may be. I think that it will always be tough for him because of the comments he made about John McCain, the senator from there, the late senator from there, who's extremely popular, and Arizonans love him, right? And he made kind of rude remarks about him, saying that he didn't want soldiers who would get captured because he was a prisoner of war. So I think that in such a red wave view, and saying that there are more Republicans than Democrats in the state of Arizona, I do think that it would go to Donald Trump, but I do think that this state would be pretty narrow. This might surprise you, but I think it would be more narrow than the state of Nevada, and Nevada would be a flip, and I think it's going to go to Trump by a lean margin. All right, going down south to Georgia and North Carolina, I mean, I don't see Biden doing that well with the African-American vote as much as he did in 2020, just because the Voting Rights Act was not passed, and he doesn't so far have a record of helping African-Americans as president. So I do think that these two southern states would go to Trump. Once again, well, Georgia would be a flip. North Carolina would go to him once again. But going over to Virginia, this one, they never liked Trump. Hillary increased the Democrats' lead here from 2012, which is pretty insane. And then they went to Biden by, I believe, 11 points, 13 points possibly. And that is really, really crazy. And Glenn Youngkin won the governorship here in 2021. But that was because he distanced himself away from Trump. And they have really rejected Trump numerous times. So I do think that Virginia would go to Biden by a lean margin. Going up north to New Hampshire, I think that Biden would be able to hang on to New Hampshire. Now, Biden's approval rating has gone up a few percentage points, and that's not a lot, but ultimately in such a close state like New Hampshire, I do think that this would play out to be enough for Biden to, or I think it would tilt the state to Biden, if you know what I mean. And then Maine at large would be lean. But New Hampshire, it's a very moderate state, and really saying how much they shifted to the left in 2020 after it was really close in 2016, but Hillary was still able to win in 2016. But they were a moderate state, and after Trump was elected, they were like, whoa, we do not like this guy. This state will not be close anytime again. Then going to Minnesota, the same thing was really close in 2016, then 2020. They really shifted away from Trump because they found out how he was. They found out what his policies were and how he was actually going to be president, and they really hated him after that. So Minnesota, lean Biden. But going to the blue wall, I really think that the blue wall is certified for Donald Trump. He won in 2016, and this is an area that is only shifting to the right, with Biden being very unpopular in these 3 states that granted him the presidency in 2020. Without them, I believe, I'm almost sure he would have lost the election. So, and he doesn't have a good record of help as president. He doesn't have that good of a record of helping these blue-collar workers, these people who are losing their jobs due to automation. So this is my final electoral map. Donald Trump wins the presidency once again with 313 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 225. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, watch all my other videos, and I hope to see you next time.